So shocking PlayStation 5 versus PlayStation 4, 3, 2, and PS1 news, Sony to buy DC games, and an update on the God of War Greek title. Those are the stories we're going to cover today, and if you could hit that like button on the video, thank you to those that do it, and as always, it's very much appreciated. First, are you a Marvel or DC person? We're going to be talking about Sony buying DC games while they already have their hands in Marvel, but for you guys, which do you prefer more? So comment below, Marvel or DC. Let me know down in the comments below. Now, diving into the first story of the video, update on the God of War Greek game. So, as we know, according to reports / rumors, Sony is working on a new God of War game set in Greece, focused on the period before Kratos becomes a god. It'll include Deimos, his brother, as a playable character, which had all of us confused because Kratos and Deimos don't see each other again until Ghost of Sparta, which is after Kratos becomes a god. And the only other time they were together is when they were kids. So, this game could be an alternate timeline title or directly just focused on Deimos during his time of being kidnapped and stuck in Thanatos' realm, or it's just actually focused on Kratos when he's a warrior, I guess, before the original God of War. I think an alternate timeline gives this game the best chance at being something special. Imagine a timeline where Kratos gets kidnapped, for example, and Deimos tries to rescue his older brother. We'll see how that plays out, but here's an update on its release. Reading from Insider Gaming, the long-rumored God of War Greek title that was in development at PlayStation has been delayed to 2026. During the latest episode of The Last of the Nintendogs on June 17th, journalist Jeff Grubb made the reveal during a segment talking about the types of games that could possibly be coming to Nintendo Switch 2 down the line. I have Marathon and the unannounced new God of War Greek project, which I heard was pushed into 2026 as well, Grubb said. It's worth mentioning that the new God of War game had yet to be officially announced by PlayStation. That said, it can still see its release delayed even internally. So we're looking at a 2026 release at this point. I'm all for giving developers their time, but I can't deny that I'm disappointed that this game is not dropping this year anymore. Hopefully, this is a very early 2026 title landing on the 21st anniversary of God of War, which is March of next year. If that's the case, they could announce it at the September event or at the Game Awards 2025. Of course, we'll see how this plays out. And if you're enjoying the video so far, hit that subscribe button and join our growing community on our way to 150,000 subscribers. Now, diving into the second story of the video, Sony to buy DC games. Reading from Push Square, Warner Brothers is going through a period of upheaval, and apparently that's got Sony sniffing. To be honest, website SE Scoops may not be the most recognizable website, but it's citing sources which claim the Japanese manufacturer is interested in scooping up its new WB streaming and studio businesses, which is being spun off from the rest of Warner Brothers Discovery, with a completion expected in mid-2026. According to the website, Sony is interested in acquiring HBO Max and the firm's gaming assets, which will all fall under the umbrella of this new company. The electronics maker has been gradually reinventing itself as an entertainment giant over the past few years. So, obviously, Sony would want HBO Max for its shows, movies, etc., so I get that, but I want to focus on the PlayStation side of things here with their gaming assets. To me, this would be wild if Sony did buy the studios that are working at Warner Brothers that work on the games, but this makes me wonder if they'll also gain the IP licenses. Website SE Scoops does mention that Sony wants the IPs as well, so this would, in theory, have Sony owning Harry Potter, DC games, Mortal Kombat, etc. Mortal Kombat makes sense since Sony really pushes fighting games, but them owning DC while also pushing Marvel would be that would be insane. Maybe Sony sees the potential rise of DC with James Gunn's new vision, and they can capitalize off that with future games. The most important thing to me with this is that it doesn't disturb the development of the Harry Potter Legacy sequel. That's my main focus. Do not disturb that. If Sony manages to increase the size of Insomniac to 3 studios instead of 2, for example, to take on more Marvel games, and they also get to watch over the development of more DC games, that would be amazing if things obviously play out well. But you guys let me know if you're okay with Sony owning DC games development. Let me know down in the comments below. And now diving into the final story of the video, shocking PlayStation 5 versus PlayStation 4, 3, 2, and PS1 news. Reading from Ps4, a slide from a recent PlayStation investors presentation has gone viral as it effectively confirms that PS5 has made more profit than all of Sony's previous consoles combined. The manufacturer pegs PlayStation 5's operating income at $13 billion so far, while the PS1 era netted $3 billion, the PS2 era netted $2 billion, the PlayStation 3 era lost $4 billion, and the PlayStation 4 era rebounded with $9 billion. Add the numbers up and you get $10 billion for PS1 through PS4. There's some context we're eager to add here. However, the company's categorizing generations by chunks of time, so some of the revenue earned throughout the PlayStation 5 generation will have been generated by continued use of the PlayStation 4. We know, of course, there are significant numbers of players still on Sony's last generation console. So Ps4 then goes on to point out other avenues of making money like microtransactions, games as a service, etc., which I'm not sure why they felt the need to point that out personally, because I assume people know that, yeah, those are big reasons why people are making, or companies are making, more money now because of all of these different services that they offer. Beyond that, there are just more games being put out now more than ever before. Sony owns PlayStation Network and makes money off each of those games sold as well, and a lot of people are now moving over to PlayStation because they also get Xbox titles as well. Obviously, PlayStation Plus also comes into play as well here. These are factors as to why PlayStation 5 is making more money, but obviously in the PS4 era, we still had PlayStation Plus, and at the end of the PlayStation 3 era, we had PlayStation Plus, but obviously it's not bigger than it's been now. It hasn't been as big as it has been now in the past. Also, we're less than 5 years into this generation as well. Sony's also definitely making money off the PlayStation 4, and that multi-generational setup is going to continue into the PlayStation 6 era with the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 6. I will add that the PlayStation 4 base of users is getting smaller and smaller, with Sony's recent chart revealing it's roughly at 36% of their player base currently. Either way, PlayStation 5 will continue to make more money for them for some time. But you guys let me know if you're still playing on the PlayStation 4 or not. Let me know down in the comments below. And if you guys did enjoy this video, please hit that like button. As it always helps, to subscribe if you're new. I got new videos every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one. And welcome back to the after show. This is the part of the video where we have a little fun down in the comments below. If you're old, welcome back. If you're new, welcome. For today's thing, what I want you guys to do is to body, obliterate, destroy, and overall harass the comment section with "Bring on the games." Putting the DC side of this, to the side. Sony, we need you guys, to get back on the clock and start putting out those single player titles that we all love so much. Now that we've gotten past this games as a service situation just slightly, I know they're still focused on it, but they realize that they need to focus on their single players as well. We have Ghosts of Yotei later this year, DS2 coming out in less than a week, and next year potentially Wolverine, this God of War title, Sorrows. We're just excited to hear more about these titles, Intergalactic as well. But if you guys are excited for future titles from Sony, destroy the comment section with "Bring on the games," and I'll definitely heart those comments like I always do, because I appreciate everybody who stays to the end of my videos. And now I'll check you guys out on the next one.